of a shot of winning. We can beat anybody in the world, and I think we're going to win next Sunday.
And welcome back to the New York Jets Atlantic Flight Podcast. It has been a while. It's the summertime, people. We have been on a hiatus, a little bit more of an extended hiatus than I think we all thought, but thoroughly deserved. Everyone's recharging their batteries and raring to go. We've been talking a lot between ourselves on our little group chats and everything as well. So we've been talking about what we're going to do in this next season and everything. So we've got a few things lined up. We've got guests lined up. Hopefully you're going to find our content interesting and you'll keep coming back and you want more. We might even start doing a mailbag as well. We've talked about doing a mailbag. We did do one last year that was quite successful. So we might start doing a mailbag again. If there's interest, we'll do it. So I might do this soon. So without further ado, I've got Daniel. It's ages since I have talked to Daniel as well, live. Actually face to face, or as we're doing, audible to audible. But Daniel's in sunny Florida. I'm taking it it's sunny. I am here in the rainy UK, typical British summertime. And Daniel is having, I think, probably a typical US Floridian summer. Are you, Daniel?
I guess so. If you're talking about all these rainy days, hurricane days, lightning days, thunder days, and everything else weather-wise in the summertime, it is hurricane season down here, Gus. But
Oh my God, I didn't realize.
yes, it is. Yes, it is. As long as I don't call out for Auntie M and the Wizard of Oz, then I'll be just fine.
So it's not Tubbs, Crockett, and all Miami Vice.
You're darn right.
Oh my goodness! Right, it's batten down the hatches. Well, stay safe.
I will.
Oh my God, where to begin with this? What a week we've had. So it's Sunday. We are on the back end of what has been the most amazing week. It's like buses, isn't it? You wait for a bus and then all of a sudden they all come along together. So what are we talking about? We're talking about the signings this week. We've had 3 major signings this week, of which we'll get into. The first being Garrett Wilson. Daniel, Garrett Wilson. Did we see this coming?
We were hoping, but when it came, I was so happy. I was so thrilled, to be honest with you, Gus. Because you want to know why? I'll tell you why. Because we always hope and pray when we have dynamic players that this club has signed, from the draft. After you draft these players, the hope is you keep them. And when all of a sudden we find out that this big deal came out of nowhere, well, you know what? I was happy. I was thrilled because I did not want to lose Garrett Wilson at all. Did not want to lose him. Did not want to see him go anywhere else. And plus, here's the other thing I think that we should be happy about. We should be happy that the Jets, this current regime of the Jets, which is Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn, they took care of it right away. They didn't wait for giving him the 5th-year option. They did not wait until it was too late to make any negotiations. They took care of it right away. And obviously, you'd like to think Garrett also wanted to be with the Jets full time as well. And, they're building something here, I think. I really believe they're truly building something here. Now, obviously, Garrett knows he's got his quarterback buddy from college, Justin Fields, on the team now. He's got 2 years to try and persuade the Jets into something spectacular. But once again, I just have to say it, that I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm thrilled. I'm excited. I can't wait. I cannot wait to see what Garrett Wilson will do with his old college quarterback. But at the same time, we're not going to have any issues. We're not going to have agita. We're not going to worry about anything. We're not going to have PSTD Jet style. They took care of it. And the best thing is this. not only did they give Garrett Wilson the extension, they also picked up his 5th-year option. So this deal does not begin, nor does it affect the cap until after next season. So in 2027, that's when this contract extension will be in favor for the Jets and will be activated for Garrett Wilson.
Yep. And so, yeah, putting it into context, so Garrett Wilson's actually got 2 years left of his rookie contract, as has Sauce Gardner, which we'll get to in a minute. So as Daniel's just said there, so it doesn't actually kick in. So he signed a 4-year contract, 120 point, no, that's Garrett's, isn't it? Sorry, it's 85.
Yes, I got it. Don't worry. I
Yeah.
got it here.
But it doesn't.
Garrett has a $130 million extension with $90 million guaranteed after his 5th-year option.
That's correct. But it doesn't kick in until after his second and final year of his rookie contract. So usually when this kind of stuff happens, a lot of teams, when they're getting these superstar players, because they are superstar players, a lot of them are actually front loaded, but this is all back loaded. And with all the contracts that have been signed this year, they're all very, very team friendly. So what that means is, so for example, we had Mo Wilkerson a few years back. He got paid, and as soon as he got paid, he literally hung his cleats up and stopped performing. And that does happen with players. Players will play for the contract, and then they get the big payday. And I don't know what happens. Some players they do, some players they don't, and they carry on playing at high level. But there are some players that once they do get paid, they seem to lose interest, and I'm made now, I've got my money, and they stop trying. And as fans, we see it, and we've had our fair share of players that have done that, haven't we?
No, we have, and unfortunately for Muhammad Wilkerson, as gifted and talented as he is, it really is disheartening to see what he did. He just gave up. He's like, oh, I just got my big deal. I don't have to play as hard as I want to. I can just go ahead and do whatever I want. And, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. You got paid because you earned it for working hard. And then you're going to give up working hard? You're going to come in assuming you know what you're doing? No, you can't do that. You got to continue playing hard. You got to continue to show why you're worth that deal. And where is Muhammad Wilkerson now? Nowhere. He retired.
But he's rich.
He's gone. He's rich. He's got his money, and he's probably living somewhere special probably in the Caribbean or something. Who knows? Who cares? He messed up. He messed up himself big time, and that is the shame of it all.
He messed up being a football player, but he didn't mess up being a financially successful person. That's the difference.
No, that's true. But still, though, I mean, you want to be known for as a hardworking football player, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you want to be, you want to have the fans to have your back. And then you're like, no, I understand why they're booing me. I'm trying to do my job. No, you're not. He should know better, because Jet fans see it. If you're not going to bust your butt for the team, regardless of the big contract you got, well, then you don't deserve to have that contract. You should have been cut, because he's lucky that at that time, the GM and the coach were not strong enough to cut him off the team, because regardless of what he may think, the NFL is a cutthroat business. The NFL, if people feel you're not pulling your weight, you're going to say goodbye. They're going to say, sayonara, sucker. You're out of here.
I think the big problem was as well, getting back to what we were talking about, is the contract he had. If they had cut him, because he stopped playing, and I'm not picking on Mo Wilkerson here, I'm just using him as an example. But the problem is,
I will.
Yeah, but the problem is once you've signed that player to this huge contract, if you cut him, all of a sudden you've got masses of dead cap, and that's the difference between that organisation, that Jets organisation, and this Jets organisation. You could even say that with Joe Douglas. Some of the contracts that Joe Douglas gave out were a little bit iffy, and I know that Muji's only been in this job 5 minutes. But these are the kind of contracts that teams like Philadelphia, Kansas, Baltimore, these teams that are successful, perennially successful, do. And they have a conveyor belt of young talent in there. And this is what you do. And the point I'm going to make as well is you've got these young players like Garrett, like Source. They're consummate professionals. They don't go out boozing. You've got one guy who's a nerd when it comes to computer games, sitting at home and conversing with people on Twitter. How do you do this on this? And, asking people, being a normal person. And they're not going out clubbing and all the rest of it. And Garrett's a consummate professional as well. And the core of our young players, they are all under that same bracket of being consummate professionals. And with these contracts that they're sending out now, they didn't have to sign those. They didn't have to sign team friendly ones. They could have turned around and said, well, hey, no, I've been here. Garrett could have easily turned around and said, hey, I've been here all this time. I've had 8 different quarterbacks thrown at me, and I've still come away with 1,000-yard seasons. Pay me. I want to get paid. Front load my contract, or I'm going to hold out. Didn't. They've all taken the team friendly. Why have they done that? They didn't have to do that, but they have done it because it's in the benefit of the team. Now, if they get paid and all of a sudden they stop performing, they could get cut. They could get traded, and that they've taken that decision and they've taken that gamble. I mean, hey, they get traded, they get paid again, but that's not the point of this. The message that's been sent out from the Jets is to the young players, especially, you come here, you work hard, you will get paid, and we will look after you. We are trying to build a winning culture, and that's what we're going to do. And these guys, as I said, Muji and Glenn, they've been here 5 minutes and they've bought into it straight away. And I think that that's really, really evident.
Yeah, I agree. And that's what they want, though. That's what Muji and Glenn wants. They are well aware of what Garrett Wilson and what Sauce Gardner can do. I mean, for goodness sakes, when Aaron Glenn was on the coaching staff of the Detroit Lions, he saw what was in front of him when they faced Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner at MetLife Stadium several years ago during, I think it was their rookie season, even though the Jets lost to the Lions at MetLife in that game. But Aaron saw, Aaron knows, Aaron knows what it's like. Aaron knows because he was a great young talented cornerback himself and a great young talented player. And when, Bill Parcells came to the Jets, Bill Parcells enhanced his abilities. So if he feels that a great head coach like Parcells can enhance his, well, he feels learning from Parcells, he can do that for both Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner. And look what he's done so far. And at the moment, I know it's early. I know we can't go overboard right now because we haven't played any games yet. It's just training camp. We need to see what's going to happen during this regular season. We need to see some form of progress from this team, from these players. I am not here to jump down on his back or basically step on his throat and say, you're crap. You don't know what the hell you're doing, like everyone else is doing, pre-context, kvetching. Okay, I'll say it. Bitching about Aaron Glenn being a defensive coach as our new head coach. No, it's about who is the best coach available for this team and what can he do to change the culture. And if Aaron Glenn is already changing the culture, yes, he is. Now, can he execute a winning game plan as both an offensive, as a head coach for the entire team because it's all under his watch? That remains to be seen. But for now, you know what? I've enjoyed the quietness. I've enjoyed the silence of Jets training camp and OTAs. Why? Because this man is trying to take the spotlight off the Jets until we get to the games during the regular season, and I am enjoying it. So far, it's been great. Can it be better? Absolutely. When can that happen? When game 1 starts against the Pittsburgh Steelers, when the NFL season begins in September, the weekend after Labor Day here in the States.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think I've been in and out on Twitter. I've been incredibly busy over these summer weeks. I've been in and out trying to keep abreast of what's going on. But that has been really, really evident, hasn't it? That there hasn't been a peep. The beat writers, they'll be able to dust their stuff off when they go back to training camp next week. But that has been the overriding story, really. It that's been a non-story is how quiet it's actually been, and it's so refreshing. This is what it's like when proper teams are run properly. There's been no dramas. I mean, this time last year, we had all kinds of shenanigans going on. We had players not reporting to training camp because they were going on holiday to Egypt. We had Hassan Reddick going on, and God, it's just night and day. This time last year to now, it's just there's no comparison. And as you said, Daniel, it's been absolutely refreshing, and yeah, enjoying it immensely. So when we've been working and you log on to your computer or something at the end of the day, and you log on and you find out the latest shenanigans that's happened, there's been none of that. It's just been good stuff. So long may this happen. So if we go back, what happened first? The first person to get actually signed to a big contract was Jamie Sherwood. Again, that's in the same kind of mold, isn't it? To what's going on now is young, talented, hardworking, culture changer. He's a game caller as well. Here's your reward. You've got a reward. So he's been paid as well. So we've actually got 4 really good players that we've just re-signed as well. So talking of middle linebackers, Quincy will be a free agent at the end. Quincy Williams, that is, will be a free agent middle linebacker coming off next year. I don't want to see him go. There's a lot of speculation that he won't be signed because, quote unquote, teams don't sign 2 middle linebackers to big contracts. My argument is, can you afford to let him go as well? Because he's playing at an all-pro level. He didn't last year. We won't go into last year because there was a number of players individually and as a team, we didn't perform. So I'm going to strike last year off as an abnormally, because we've seen what Quincy Williams can do, and you don't become an all-pro and then not an all-pro the following year, especially if we go back to the Mo Wilkerson, not Mo Lewis. He was great. Mo Wilkerson scenario of getting paid. He signed an extension, Quincy did, but he hasn't been paid. So there's a chance that he will get a payday. Now he is getting on, and the nucleus of this team is way under 30. I think the average age is something like about 25 years old or 24 years old or something like that. Very, very young. What I will say is he is a starting middle linebacker. So is Jamie Sherwood at this moment. So we don't even know who's going to be the starting middle linebacker. What happens if Quincy comes into training camp and he blows the wheels off Jamie and Sherwood at middle linebacker? It could happen. Who's to say? This is where I think this is going to go. So I'm going to nail my colours to the mast here. He might be listed as a middle linebacker, but I've got a funny feeling you're going to see Quincy lining up all over the place. I wouldn't be surprised if you see him at the will spot, getting to the quarterback often. We've seen Aaron Glenn dial up exotic blitzes with middle linebackers, weak side linebackers, strong linebackers all over the place, plus other positions as well. So I do think that to call Quincy a middle linebacker is, if you want to call him that, but I don't think he's going to be predominantly a middle linebacker. I think he will line up all over the place, but you've got to call him something. So if you're going to call him a middle linebacker, fine, call him a middle linebacker, but don't not pay him just because he's called a middle linebacker, if that makes sense.
Well, I'll say this: he is a middle linebacker, but the point is that he's mostly effective on the outside as
Correct.
a middle linebacker,
Yeah,
not directly in the middle, because that's Sherwood's number 1 position as inside middle linebacker. So that's the thing we all have to understand. Quincy Williams will be on the outside, and he'll rush in whenever he has to. Sherwood scans what is in front of him and whether he needs to remain where he is or he needs to go in and make the tackle or make the challenge or even attempt to go on the blitz. So right there and then, you've got Quincy who is basically, a different position than Sherwood. But you know what, Jamian, I don't see any confusion at all. I think Jamian will remain as the inside middle linebacker, and Quincy will be an outside middle linebacker. I think on the left. He can go on the right, he can go on the left, and that's fine. Putting him in the middle, I think that's a bit of a detriment to what his skill set requires.
Yeah.
So I just don't believe you're going to see Quincy as a middle inside linebacker.
Yeah. Agreed.
Um, he'll stay on the outside, whether it be on the left or the right. That's up to Aaron Glenn to call. Ed Steve Wilkes, defensive coordinator. Other than that, like I said, you can have both men on the field, and you can have both men doing damage. It all depends on what the scheme calls for defensively.
Yeah, I think that's going to be it. The other thing is as well, we are not at this moment in time. We're not particularly blessed with edge rushers at the moment. We've got Will McDonald, we've got Jermaine Johnson, who we'll get to in a minute, coming back off was an ACL, Achilles he had, but we'll get onto that in a minute. So we're not exactly we've got another number of rookies and free agents that we've picked up that will try out as edge rushers, but as our starting edge at the moment, we've got Jermaine and Will McDonald. It still remains to be seen whether Will McDonald is a 3-down edge. So if you factor in that you will have another kind of edge outside linebacker in Quincy, that kind of dovetails into what Glenn's done before in Detroit as well. So, but we are a little light in edge, and someone needs to step up in training camp.
Yeah, agreed. And we'll see what happens in training camp. And this is what happens. The supposed designated edge rushers, or linebacker, or could be a wide receiver, could be special teams. I mean, you're just gonna have to wait and see what's gonna happen. But if someone can come up big, and I mean, look what happened when the Jets brought in Quan Alexander at training camp, and look what he did during preseason, especially that big hit against the Giants in the final preseason tune-up. I mean, he delivered a big blow, and he did it again against the Dolphins, and that was just amazing to see. And even though the Jets never brought him back after that one year, which was a shame because I really loved what Quan Alexander brought to the Jets then.
Yeah.
Look, this is the NFL, unfortunately. You're here one day, you're gone the next. That's unfortunate, but this is what the NFL does, unfortunately. This is the life of a professional football player. When you're at the later stages of your career, either you will be a part of it, or you'll be saying, so long, we'll see you next time. We know you'll be on a different team, but you just won't be here.
This is true. And someone else that's at the start of their career is our new tight end, second round pick, Mason Taylor. Mason got signed.
That's right.
So if you don't know what's been going on and wondering, well, how come he's just been signed now? Well, I think I'm right in saying none of the second round picks were signed. There's been the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement with the Players Association. They've been sorting out, because a lot of these guys are saying, well, we want to get paid, and why wouldn't you? So the brakes have been put on why second rounders have not been signed. So someone gets paid, it sets a precedent, and everybody else gets paid. So that's what that was going on about. So he's on his normal rookie contract, but it's good that, again, I mean, this has nothing to do with the Jets. The reason why he hadn't signed was nothing to do with the Jets. But as soon as this has got sorted out at the NFLPA, the National Football League Players Association, at their level, as soon as this has been sorted out, the Jets have gone bang and got him signed. Bingo, there we go. It's a decent contract. I can't remember the figures that I've got. I did have it up somewhere. There we go. It's contract, so it's 10 mil. It's a typical rookie contract. It's 840,000 a year. So wow, it's not actually a small change, but that's a normal contract for a rookie. But I'm glad that he's been signed. So we've got nobody holding out. Everybody is signed up going into training camp. And at Mason Taylor, he's got every right, I think, to be the starting tight end. Who's he got to go against? He's got Zach Kuntz. he's not going to make it, is he? I think he's going to get cut. It's got Stone Smart. I don't think Stone Smart will do that much. And then the guy that's just gone out of my head. The Ohio State guy. Oh my God, I can't remember what he's called. Jeremy Ruckert. Yeah. So Jeremy Ruckert is so weird because his rookie season we didn't really see that much of him, and then in the second year he started coming out. He started blocking well, and he started making a few decent catches, and then he just fell off a cliff. He forgot how to block. He forgot how to catch, and you just think to yourself, why are you had Tyler Conklin in front of you, and Tyler Conklin, let's be fair, is a decent tight end. He's not uprooting any trees, although he looks like he could, but he's a decent tight end, and you think to yourself, just all I'm going to do is copy what Tyler Conklin's doing and do it better. But no, it didn't happen. The light hasn't gone on for him. You're getting back to something that you've said, getting the band back together. So we've got Justin Fields, we've got Garrett Wilson, and now you've got Jeremy Ruckert, and you could throw into the mix. We've got the Sensor Myers that also was on that same team in Ohio State, the Buckeyes. So there's a few people in there. So I think if Ruckert doesn't come out firing in training camp, I mean, to be honest, Jeremy Ruckert should win the starting role, but I don't think he's going to. And I think Mason Taylor has got every chance to be the starting tight end of the Jets. Do you think?
I think down the road, yes. I think right now he's learning. I just believe that we cannot assume that Taylor is going to take the job right away. I really believe that he needs time to really acclimate himself in the NFL. Now, listen, he could prove me wrong, and he could absolutely do the job. But until he can do the job, until then, right now, just have to play it safe and let him learn on the job, obviously during training camp. That's what training camp is for, especially for the rookies. They want to know what they need to do to make sure they understand how to perform and do the schemes correctly. You know as well as I do, as great as college football is, the truth is that it is still hard to do so. It's still hard. They got to make sure they know what they're doing, or else it's a big mess up. And all this talk about Mason Taylor being the next starting tight end for the New York Jets can go astray.
So who's starting?
Well, honestly, it looks like it's going to be Ruckert. I just, for now, it's him. And I'm not saying that I have confidence in Ruckert. All I'm saying is that at this point in time, he's the guy. And if Mason Taylor wants to take it away from him, he's got an opportunity. Right now, he has an opportunity to take it away from him if he chooses to do so. If not, then you know what? It's okay. It's quite all right. Because why? Because we're not rushing him. I don't want to rush him. I don't want Taylor to be pushed into a situation where he doesn't feel comfortable enough. And that's the point that I'm trying to make here. We cannot allow Mason Taylor, this future tight end that's going to be great in the NFL, who has great genes because of his father, who did play for the Jets at one time. We cannot and we should not allow him to be overwhelmed. If he gets overwhelmed, then what was the point?
Well, I take a different line with this. I think he's going to have a good training camp. I don't think the Jets drafted Mason Taylor to sit behind Jeremy Ruckert at any stage, even if it's like the beginning of the season, and then bring him through and then maybe sort of like game 5, game 6, start giving him more, and then eventually he's the starter. I do think that Mason Taylor should win. At the moment, he is, and I know what you're saying about college, it's a different ball game, but I think he is coming out of college compared to Ruckert. He's already a better blocker. He's already a better catcher. The funny thing is that when Ruckert came out of college, he was being mooted as being, a good blocking tight end, and he's just been the opposite of that. So I think that Taylor is going to have a decent training camp, and I think come game one, he'll be unanimously named as the starting tight end. I just don't
And
see
that's
them
fine.
drafting. I know what you're saying, bring him on, but you also, uh, if someone's talented enough, and this is where I'm going with this. We're not expecting playoffs or anything like that. If we were expecting playoffs, I might lean towards bringing him on slowly. It's like Membu. If Membu is good enough to start at right tackle, they didn't draft Membu at number 1 overall to sit behind Okorafor. But in training camp, who knows? Because Chooks Okorafor, he's no slouch. Okay, the Patriots played him at left tackle for 4 snaps or whatever it was, 40 minutes or whatever it was. But before that, he was a right tackle with the Steelers, and quite a good right tackle. He's no slouch. So Membu's going to have to beat him out. But they haven't drafted Membu over number 1 overall to sit behind Okorafor. But because we're not going to go for the playoff. If we do end up in the playoffs, brilliant. But at the moment, I think that we're trying to build this team, and with our young talent, and they're going to get given all the chances to be successful. And I'm sure that the people will be making mistakes, but there's enough talent and there's enough veteran leadership, still very young, where we can overcome that. And these guys, they're all going to be playing for each other. That's why I think Mason Taylor will be the starting tight end. I will be very, very surprised if Jeremy Ruckert is the starting tight end. But for different reasons, they're both valid reasons. The points that you're making are valid as well. So hopefully one of us will be right, and Zach Kuntz isn't starting tight end. I do think Zach Kuntz is going to be off the team come game one.
Yeah, probably so. But, once again, if the Jets feel that, Kuntz is not the guy, then so be it. But the truth of the matter is this. Regardless of what we think about Jeremy Ruckert, the truth of the matter is this. Do not cut off your own nose in spite of your face. And the truth is that we're going to need more than just one tight end on this Jet team, because we need to make sure that the Jets do their diligence and make sure that they find a way to get the right guys and, just to get the right guys to do the job. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They just got to make sure that nothing gets I forgot the word already. Jeez, I hate myself now. No, now I know. we can't, they cannot put themselves in a position where they're going to, make a mistake. This is important. This is very, very important for the Jets. They have to make sure that they got the right players. They got to make sure that they got the right guys to perform. And if they don't, well, then it's back to the drawing board, and then you're stuck with Mason Taylor until the next draft.
Well, I do think that there will be. I think you're right. I think there are going to be a lot of there'll be a lot of 2 tight end sets. But interestingly, I think he's not really been talked about, and that's Andrew Beck, who's listed actually as a fullback, but he can play in line at tight end as well. And I think that that's what you're going to probably see is someone like Andrew Beck and Mason Taylor when we have those big packages on. Rather, I don't know, I mean, Ruckert could come. This is Ruckert's chance to make things good. Again, they're getting the band back together. He's got all your buddies and all the rest of it. It might work. It might work. Let's hope it does, because at the end of the day, and you're right in what you're saying. We need players to step up. We don't need players to fall off. And so we've got to go and get somebody else in. It would be great. I mean, okay, we need to get off he's a Long Island kid and all. Let's root for the local guy and all that. That doesn't really matter. It's great that he's there and he's a Jets fan. That is absolutely brilliant. But let's not get sidetracked with that. If Andrew Beck is a better blocker than Jeremy Ruckert, then he should play. And it's in the fullback role, because that was another thing as well. Ruckert has played fullback as well on occasion, or that strong look. So I think we do have other options, but it's going to be interesting. But
Yeah.
anyway, let's move on because there were a couple of players that were listed this week. In fact, I think they were listed yesterday or today. Was it yesterday? And that's Jermaine Johnson and I'm going to call him special teams ace, Irv Charles, who suffered,
Hmm.
I think it was a torn ACL on a punt return against the Dolphins last year. And Jermaine, he tore his Achilles. I expect them, and they are
That was against
actually
the Titans. That was against the Titans.
Titans, beg your pardon, but they are expected to be making game one. So it's just, they will, and they do count against the 90-man team as well. So 90-man squad,
Yep.
I should say. So, but they hopefully will be back, and that is awesome news. They're going to be in training camp, so don't worry about that. Irv Charles, if you don't really know anything about him, he is listed as a wide receiver, but he is an absolute ace as a gunner. So, and we've also got Arian Smith that's also being talked about. It's been Chris Banjo's little secret weapon. Do you remember we signed? Was he third round? Wasn't he? I think it was a third round
I
pick.
think so. I think
Yeah,
so. Yeah.
and it's just like came out of nowhere. By all accounts, we've just had these training camp that's just been had, and by all accounts, catching hasn't been a problem. So, which is what was really talked about. The guy is lightning in a bottle but can't catch. But apparently he's been absolutely, I don't know, it's the underwear Olympics. He's been absolutely roasting DBs and catching the ball. So brilliant. But he is also going to be listed as a gunner for, I say, Chris Banjo. So look for special teams this year to be a little bit spicy. So it's good to see these guys coming back. It's good that that they've been put on the pup list. So, and as Jermaine Johnson said on his Twitter, don't worry, it's just slowly getting them back in, like they did with Brees as well. So just slowly, slowly. Don't want to, anything too rushed. So that's good to know,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Exactly. It really is. And that's the most important thing that we all have to understand. This is what they are trying to do. And, look, Jermaine, I saw a video of him on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and he looked pretty good. He looked pretty good. Very happy to see him running out there and doing a job. So as of right now, I am not too displeased. I'm happy with what I'm seeing, and I think we should all be happy with what we're seeing.
And if you look at his career, I mean, the first time I clamped eyes on him was Last Chance U, as I expect a lot of people did as well. And Last Chance U, as the name suggests, is players that haven't performed or what have you for personal reasons, or they haven't lived up to expectations, or they've just not fitted in, whatever it is. Last Chance U, here you go, here's another chance, sharpen your pencil and all that. But
Hmm.
even in that program, in that series, he came across as being somebody that was relentless, that wouldn't give up, was a hard worker, was dedicated, wasn't afraid to ask questions. I don't understand this. Show me how I can get better. And that's his mindset. And now he's made the pros. He hasn't changed. That's still his mindset. When we signed him, when we moved up the draft, I mean, we were expected to take him in the 2022 draft a lot earlier, and he
Right,
fell. And I
right.
was absolutely thrilled that we moved up and drafted him. That was the best round one for me personally. It was the best round one picks ever.
Yeah,
So I think it's turning into that anyway for a lot of people. But yeah, hard worker. I'm not worried about him not being fully participating in training camp because I think he will be there come game time.
yeah, me too. I am not worried at all either. I am not worried. I'm not concerned. I think Jermaine will be ready to go, and he's going to show everyone in the NFL why this whole thing was just an annoyance, and he'll be ready to tell everyone, "Look out, here I come."
And let's talking of training camp. We're going to wrap this up in a minute. These are the schedules. So Friday, it starts this Friday. Wow. So Friday, July the 22nd, put this in your diaries at 8:30 Eastern time. We start training camp. for real. And then it goes on to the next day, Saturday, and then there's a short break until Thursday, the 31st, and then we're into August. August the 2nd, there's another training camp. By the way, if you are in the US and you want to go to these training camps on those dates, they have all sold out. Then it resumes again on August the 7th, August the 12th, where we've got a friendly scrimmage, against the New York Giants. Yeah, right. We know how that works. And
Sure it is.
August the 19th, and August, if it concludes on August the 20th, and then we know what happens after August the 20th. Yeah. We start getting ready for the big stuff, the preseason games. So
That's right.
So as it stands right now, on the 20th, there are tickets available August 7th, August 12th, August 19th, and August 20th. So there are free tickets. And if you are lucky to get one of these free tickets, don't go and resell them like people were doing last year. Not on. If you can't go, give them to somebody else. But I would love to go to one of these training sessions, but a little bit of a long haul for me to go there, as with you as well. But those are our training dates. We've got something that's really, really exciting to be looking forward to now. So this Friday, it all starts. There'll be stuff posted on Florham Drive. What do you call it? One Jets Drive. What?
One Jets Drive.
One Jets
At Florham Park, but it's One Jets Drive, yes.
That's it. So we're going to get to see, the water bottles being put around and people getting squirted in the face and all that kind of stuff. So, God, I can't wait. We've been a long time without football, and you've said it, it's been a quiet off season, and the juices are starting to flow now, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
So,
when Sauce and Garrett, when they both got signed in like back-to-back days, I walked around in my Sauce Gardner Jets jersey, and I was so proud. I got my Jet hat on, and I didn't care I did not care if the Dolphin fan was going to stop me. I was going to tell him, yeah, guess what, buddy? Yeah, your team is in shambles.
It
My
is a
team
shambles.
is staying alive. We're going to do something nice.
It is a complete shambles.
Yes, it is. But once again, as always, Gus, the proof is in the pudding.
It is. But as far as the Dolphins, I'm quietly sitting back with my popcorn, a little bit of a smile going on. Like you say, come the season, you don't know what you're going to get with Tua. I thought Tua was going to have a terrible season last year. He didn't. That's the second season running that he's proved me wrong. Happy to say that, because I don't want to see anybody getting hurt. But I think the Dolphins O-line is not the same O-line as it was last year. So there's something that they need to sort out, because
I agree.
You got to keep this guy upright. If he gets too many hits, it's not going to be good. So we don't want to see anybody getting hurt, do we? But it is what it is.
Absolutely not.
We don't like the Dolphins.
It is what it is. We just got to let them know that we wish no ill will to their players. May they be humiliated? Absolutely. Completely injured? No, that's not what we're here for.
Nope. But talking of what we're here for, we are here to report on stuff and games. We're going to be starting doing previews on upcoming games, and that's pre-season as well. And we will be doing reviews of games as well. So we're going to try and do these midweek, which we've discussed. So we're going to be bringing you more content this year, more guests this year, and we're going to have a blast. We're going to try and do some live recordings at the London games as well. So if any of you want to join the show when we go to London, hook up with us, drop me a DM on Twitter, and we'll hook up and we'll make this happen. But Daniel, it's good to be back, brother, isn't it?
It's great to be back. I'm just curious to know, are you going to have Olivia back on more times than normal?
Oh my God, yeah. I think Timmy has spoken to Olivia. We might get Kingsley back on if he can come on as well, to talk about the up and coming events that they're putting on in London. Very, very exciting. If you haven't seen or heard what's going on, check out what UK and Ireland New York Jets fan club are doing. You can find them on Twitter, and all their posts are on there, what they're going to do. If you went last year, they had the Victoria pub, and the Vikings were next door in the Two Brewers. Well, now, because it was such a success, they're going to have the Two Brewers and the Victoria. So both pubs, weirdly, this doesn't happen that often. Two pubs right next door to each other. But anyway, these two pubs are right next door to each other. It's a 10-minute walk to the Tottenham Stadium as well. But this year they've got both pubs, and we're putting on food. They are putting on food as well in the shape of barbecue. So this is probably the closest thing that you're going to get to a tailgate, because, as you know, we don't really do tailgates in this country because there isn't like the facility for parking and all the rest of it. Basically, London is anti-car, so it's not particularly good for tailgating without a car.
Well, we could always go to Parliament and make a change.
Yeah, that'd be good. So that's what's happening. Again, we'll closer to the date, we'll fill you more in on what's happening with the London game and all the rest of it. But we will be bringing you more and more content, and it's just good to be back doing this again. And that's all we've got time for this week. Daniel, you got anything else?
I can only say this, Gus, is that it's great to be back with you and the rest of the lads over here. I'm very, very happy to be the token Yank of this Jets podcast, because obviously without me, your show is dead. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I know you do a great job with all by yourselves as well. But honestly, though, I'm just glad to be with you guys, and thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be with you as always, because we are Jet fans regardless what side of the pond we are on, whether I'm here in the United States or you're over there in England, in the UK. It's just fantastic to be a part of this.
Yeah, and that's why we do it. This is an Atlantic Flight podcast, and we are the crew. So, Dan.
Y'all know what to say. On three. 1, 2, 3.